Really glad that I paid that ticket last year when they sent me that little card in the mail that said amnesty time, pay your fucking ticket or you're going to jail.
Yeah.
They really did, and so now I'm gonna wait till they send me another one of those cards. This is it's cool being here, man. It's this thing, man, I'm glad this book saw the light of day. Thank you, Chuck. And thank Chris Carmona and Rob Johnson as well. You guys worked endlessly on this book. And it's an important book. It's a book that's going to be around for a long time. And hopefully after we're all gone, this book will still be, hopefully, like a canon, maybe? A time capsule, a reference. I still have this thing, Susan. Bridging what was, what is. That's the coolest. That's one of the coolest things about this collection to me is how it goes all the way back up to what's going on right now, or what was going on when the book was coming together. And man, I'll talk a little bit later about how I happened to be accidentally included in the thing. But right now, it's time to write a poem. It's time to write a poem about riding a Trailways bus through Alabama, a poem about Piggly Wiggly state policemen, about flags and grits and backyard bred attack dogs, gun shows, Southern pride. It is time to write a poem because what we've been busy with isn't working. These guns and prisons, banks and borders, these laws and churches, these immigration mazes, religious hatreds, man, they must have seemed like good ideas at some point. All of these wars. When I see your face in the morning, before the news of the day comes charging in, before the bodies roll in on the digital tide, before the pragmatism of decades takes hold, it is time to write a poem. It's time to write a poem to mail away to foreign lands, to send off to the moon, to the planet Mars, to the core of this earth, to the cosmic Colorado rubbish man, because prayer doesn't do the things that it used to. It is time to commit poetry. It's time to write a poem of witness, a transatlantic yelp, a howl, a yes, y'all, and it don't stop. It's not a time for ballads. I can carry no corrido but my own. It is time to write a poem, because it ain't coming on TV. It's time to write a poem today, on a Tuesday, on a Saturday night, drunk or sad or covered in sweat, shivering on a park bench or locked away in detention with tubes and machines hooked up to my heart on our last good day together, before opening the condom wrapper, before paying the toll, before making the reservations. It is time to write a poem. It is time to write a poem. Because we won't last forever. And no one else is writing about the smolder in your eyes, because all those millennial promises, they never came true. And 16 years is long enough to wait. It is time to write a poem. It's time to write a poem for Highlights magazine, for children in medical waiting rooms, a poem for Skyball magazine, glanced at once at 30,000 feet, a poem folded into a box and sold from a cigarette vending machine. It is time to write a poem. Use only the sins that are in your pocket. Use only what you know is yours. Poetry isn't shit most days. But it is time to write a poem while we still can. I think South Texas College was publishing that in their interstice this year. It was first published by an online journal in Wales called I'm Not a Silent Poet. This is from my latest collection of poetry. It's from Slough Press. It's called Sacred Wounds. Chuck sneaking off because he edited this thing. I might too. What is beat anyway? Susan asked me that one time in an interview. What is beat? I'm like, go ask Chris Carbone.
I already asked him. He said the same thing.
And he said the same thing. Yeah, man, it's not a style. It's a lifestyle. You know, you put Gary Snyder stuff next to Ginsberg stuff, and you're like, this does not match. You gotta live it, man. It's still out there, you know, on the road. If you have the eyes to find it, and if you listen with an ear for futility, it's in the turn lanes of the city streets, it's in donut shops in mid-afternoon, in bars right next to nail salons and bail bond agents' waiting rooms. Laundromats always make me think of Ginsberg and Chuck Taylor.
I've been there.
That long walk to the highway after they let you out of Del Valley jail. It's the cats crowding the dumpster behind the Taco Bell. It's what churches and temples have always promised. It's a paperback library started by GIs somewhere, surrounded by sandbags. It's that same sad sweater you've worn for decades, bought at a thrift store, someplace that has snowed. It's not trusting mirrors any longer. It's learning that lies have always been here. They are aboriginal in our DNA, twisted. Terrors behind every freedom. Liberty and anonymity are the greatest dangers, and man, they are the only paths to desolation. A tattered copy of Sirens of Titan is chosen over bad motel TV at the start of a 5-state road trip. Coffee, sleeping pills, truck stops, $4 gasoline seems all too much to spend for poetry and words of witness shouted into an irrelevant abyss. Our nation is still a large, large place, every bit as big as it seems once you step away from Diplo speak, war on drugs, red state, blue state scenes. Miles seem longer and horizons farther once you're west of Abilene. Soaring over landscapes at 30,000 feet like invading armies who drop from the air cannot compare to the time and investment involved in driving there. Coastal plains turn to desert like the dryness that sometimes desiccates my soul, but climbing ever higher shifts things greener, not through rain or storms, but elevation, altitude, attitude, the angle of approach. Driving on with 4 wheels firmly planted in nothingness, crossing state lines in the dark as if they mean something, man, as if they mean anything at all. Roadside poets and alley cats, discordant music and pork pie hats, superstitious mountains, rippled nipples peeking from silky chemises, rock shops and cycle cops, adding air to the tire. In a Las Cruces parking lot, Lower Pima County steampunk truck stops, free speech in Phoenix, confined to an alley, true story. History of longevity and that one motherfucker of a cat from a Bukowski paperback. Driving onward through Maricopa darkness like Kerouac with the backseat packed. Don't give up, don't give up, don't cry, don't die, don't scream, they'll get you then. And the sun's gonna come up if you lose, or if you win. Takeaway, the takeaway, burn minutes into miles like it's always been done. Caffeine, nicotine, grass and desert sand, sandstone, arches, green sheen, north of Moab. Keep going, keep moving. Shiprock, shipwreck, Colorado line. It just takes time. Time is all that you have with the hours of your life. We're only paying for the gas. We're only paying for the gas. Thank you. I was out there doing what I do, reading poetry.
Yeah.
I was coming off of a road trip up to Chicago, St. Louis, and decided I was going to hit an open mic in Dallas and see some friends up there. Walked into a gallery where they were having a reading. I want to say it was a Mighty Fine Arts Gallery there in Dallas. Chris Carmona was the feature that night. Never met Chris. Walked in there. 12-pack of old-style beer under one arm. That was a gift for Johnny Olson. Been a while since I've seen him. Been a while since he's been to Chicago. I thought I'd bring him a little taste of home. Still, I had to drive it straight through from Chicago. I was flying on all kinds of those little pills you buy at the counter at Love's Truck Stop, you know. Whew, ready for some fucking poetry, man. And I don't improv a lot, but I was up on that shit. So I was improvising some poetry, just off the top of my head. And Chris was like, I don't know who you are, but that's cool. We're putting a book together. Send me that. And I'm like, okay. For those of y'all that don't know, I'm a little loose up here. I'm like, okay, I'll try my best to remember. And I did. I tried my best to remember that. And Chris has become a really good friend. And he drug me down to the valley. He says, man, you gotta get down the Rio Grande Valley and see what's going on. And I love it down there now. But I'm not sure what exactly I was saying that day, but it had something to do with open mic poetry. And for me, that meant Rue de Maya on Tuesdays. Cut my teeth on the stage way back in the warehouse district before they moved south, before they closed up. This cat right here probably had as much to do with corrupting me as anybody. And yeah, I was looking through this, and there were some, I think there were some changes made or something, because Cassidy, I said Neil Cassidy's misspelled it here, but it fits the poem. It fits the poem. You can't be beat no more. And there's this sack of shit hipster poet sitting near the stage with his Westlake Hills girlfriend, waiting on his turn at the open mic so that he can spout his shit and leave, while all the others read, smoking the most expensive cigarettes he can find, and drinking Pabst from a can. You can't be beat anymore. No, they don't let you, he says, with a fuck bomb and a sneer. You can't be beat no more, man. You can't hitchhike like Kerouac. There's crazies out there. You can't get way out there like Kessie, man. They test you now, you know. The chicks don't dig it when you fuck like Cassidy fucked. You just can't be beat no more, man. They won't let you, man. And I wonder. He set the alarm on his car before he came into the bar. Because this cat is right. He'll never be beat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cat.